In this video, I'm going to talk to you about my rehabilitation post spinal fusion surgery. I'm Dan from Functional Fusion, and I'm going to talk to you about how I rehabilitated myself post spinal surgery and how I armed myself and equipped myself with the knowledge I needed to live a pain-free life. In 2023, my spinal fusion was done on the NHS, which is a National Health Service for those of you not in the UK. And it was to treat spondylolisthesis, where L5 for me, a bilateral pars defect had occurred, which means the vertebrae slipped forward, bone had broken either side, and there was so much movement it had eroded the discs above and below L5. So I first noticed having sciatic leg pain in 2012 when I was serving with the British Army. I was in an infantry unit. I was in Afghanistan carrying far too much kit. And no wonder I ended up hurting myself. Sitting in vehicles, the sciatic leg pain was horrendous. And then the lower back pain gradually built up. When I got back from there in 2013, I retrained as a personal trainer. So I was in a fairly good position to know how to look after myself, how to train. But my back pain was not getting better. So I went to see endless physiotherapists, chiropractors, osteopaths. I literally had spent thousands trying to resolve this issue, which at that time I didn't know what it was. Those services temporarily would mask that pain. I'd have a massage, say, on that day you'd feel a bit better, next day gone, or I'd go and just live my life and it would return, the pain would return. So I was like, it's just, you're going around in circles. I went to the GP, my doctor said what I had been experiencing, the pain. They sent me for an MRI scan. So the NHS, they claim they're under a lot of stress and strain. I think they are. If you have an emergency in the UK, you're well looked after. That they are all over it. But if it's slow time, it's a laborious process. I'll leave it at that. Eventually, I had my MRI scan, and it was diagnosed as spondylolisthesis, as I've discussed. So the only thing that they offered me was physiotherapy, more of it. It was rubbish. And then a nerve blocker injection, which I had in 2021. The big old needles that they put in there, they use, I think it's x-rays to get them in. And after it, for like 4 hours, like, oh, I feel really good. But I think that was just the painkillers they give you for the needles. That wore off, and then I was back to normal. So for me, it didn't work, but for other people I know, they have been successful. And if that works for you, then nice one.
Nice.
For me, no good. So I was left in a position like, what next? And I was offered the opportunity to speak to a surgeon about it, for him to look at me. So I went down to see this guy. He was a complete bellend. But besides that, he said that he could operate. Fortunately, he did not do my operation. Someone else did. I lucked out. Super nice guy, really good surgeon in the UK. So yeah, that was great. Good for me. So I was at the point where there was also the option for what next? It's going to have to be surgery. And I felt like I had exhausted all options. However, if I knew what I knew now about functional movement training, in hindsight, obviously I can't change it. I do wonder if I'd have had the surgery. That might not have been the case. I might still would have had to have the surgery, but I wish I could have had the opportunity to try functional movement training, focus on my movement patterns and target muscles that aren't usually targeted to deal with these issues that I was experiencing. And I'd like to think that other people in that position now, like I was, can try functional movement training when they have nowhere else to turn. So yeah, I was left wondering if the surgery would have been necessary, but I'll never know. Hopefully you will know. So post-surgery, the surgery went well. And my surgeon said to me, "Oh, you don't need to see a physiotherapist," when I asked about it. So as good as he was, that was poor advice. I saw 6 physiotherapists post-surgery. A few were on the National Health Service, a few were privately funded by myself, and they were hit and miss, like all the ones that I'd seen previously. One in the NHS, she was really good, all over it. Another person I saw, not so good, gave me some exercises. I was like, are you for real? I obviously didn't tell them that, but I came away thinking, I'm not doing that. And it makes me worried that other people like me who don't have the knowledge will just engage in these exercises and potentially hurt themselves when they've had the surgery to unhurt themselves. So that's crazy. One physiotherapist I saw locally, and he's recommended to me a couple of times. So I was like, I'm going to go and see him. Went to see him. He's normally running 5-10 minutes late for his sessions, which obviously is not cool. And it was a bit conveyor belt. Felt like he didn't really have time for me. Wasn't really thinking about it. And he said to me one day, he goes, "Right, bend down and touch your toes." I'd already been doing functional movement training at this point. So I knew that I needed a hinge, do a good hinge, protect my back. That's what I did. And he's like, no. Just bend down and touch your toes. Don't hinge or anything. So he wanted me to flex my spine. 3 months post spinal fusion surgery, you should not be doing that. We need to be protecting our backs. And for me, that's just unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. That is a bad one.
And as I said earlier, it makes me worried. People like me who are being told to do that, who don't question it and just go ahead with it. And I know I've just bashed a few physios, but this isn't an opportunity for me to put them down. That's not what I'm intending to do. They have their place 100%, and you should see a physiotherapist post spinal fusions or any back surgery 100%. However, they are not up to date, I don't believe, with the functional movement training. I went to see some people and they would like write it off, dismiss it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And I know, I've been through the process, that without that training, functional movement, I don't know if I would be going out running, cycling, pain-free, and lifting my kids in and out of cots and running around with them and, you know, living the life I should be living at my age without a bad back or sciatic pain. So yeah, I was left wanting, and I'm so pleased I engaged in functional movement training. It was like a light bulb moment. I was like, this is it. This is what I needed. And it's the best thing I did post spinal fusion surgery. And I'm now offering it out to people as I want people like you, or people experiencing generic lower back pain, or any other back surgeries you may have to go through or not. And to engage in this training pre-surgery is really good. If you are in a position where you can do that, then 100% I recommend you do it. 40% of fusions end up in further surgery, is what I've been quoted by a few people. And that's just, why is that? Because we are not protecting our backs, we're not moving well, we're not engaging muscles that we should be, that may be switched off, or the mind muscle connection's not there, and we need to wake it up, and we need to protect our spines. That's why these surgeries are happening. It makes me so sad to think there are people who go through these surgeries, don't rehabilitate the right way, and then especially people like the States where you're relying on insurance to do these surgeries, they can't afford it. It's just cruel. It's really cruel, and we want to avoid adjacent segment disease, which will happen because you think of a fusion, it's solid, the disc above or below is then taking the strain. And if we're not moving right, and if we're not protecting that, then of course it's going to go, whatever that means. So it's on us to do the work to protect it. And it pees me off that we're doing these people a disservice, like you and I, who go for these surgeries and we don't provide the most effective training, in my opinion. So if what I've spoken about today resonates with you, then I train people online. I have a global client base. It's one-to-one online coaching, flexible hours to suit your needs. And I'd like to think you can come away with the same enthusiasm for functional movement training that I have. You'll be equipped with the knowledge and know-how to go forward in life and look after your spine and move efficiently and, most importantly, live a pain-free life. My website link is in the description down below. That's popping my YouTube cherry. So it's the first time saying that, so well done me. My website is functionalfusion.co.uk. Hop on there, send me a message. If you've got any questions, I'll try and answer them the best I can. And hopefully I'll see you online. Cheers.